Hello, this is John Black, Super Chemist. This is called my playlist. If you want to watch all the videos in a row, it's called All I Know About Wives, Marriage, Family, Psychology. I think we're on part 10. I don't know, somewhere around there. I can tell this is going to be like 50 videos. Okay, so last time I was telling about the 20 questions that you should ask, and I'll go over them later on in another video. But just to give you an example of something you should ask a woman if she wants to be in a, one-on-one relationship. It's past, just casual dating, and she wants to be your girlfriend and boyfriend. Here's just an example, and they're all the same. They're not the same questions, but they're in this same pattern. First two questions are the same exact questions. 3 and 4, same exact questions. 5 and 6, same exact questions. They're all just a whole bunch of, there's 20 questions, but 10 of them are the same as the other 10. Here's an example. And we said a leader was someone who has the last say in an argument. So if you say leader or you say the last say in all arguments, it's the same sentence, right? Do you want your man to be a leader? They'll say yes. Do you want your man to have the last say in all arguments? They'll say no. Those contradict themselves. Yeah, they're just and then you got to see, hey, is this woman going to be normal and understand that she's contradicting herself 10 times in a row, or is she going to argue and argue and argue and argue and argue? This will tell you whether she's submissive or not. It's really hard for a woman, even when they're submissive. It's hard for them to pass this test because we've all been indoctrinated in the propaganda. And here's something else I want to bring up. Wait, why are you picking? Oh, and the other thing is if she says, I don't want you to. I want you to be the leader, but when I think you're making a mistake, then I have to step in and say, hey, what's what? You know what I mean? Well, or no, that's what it is. They'll say, well, I do want you to be the leader, but I mean, if you're going to punch me in the face, I'm not going to put up with that. Or if you're just going to go out and cheat on me, they'll go to this extreme, weird examples. You know what I mean? Your question back to them should be, like, you say, do you want a leader? They say, yeah. You say, do you want someone who will have the last say in all arguments? They say, well, not in all arguments. Yeah, most times, and they'll give you an example. Or if they don't ask for one, they'll give you an example. They'll say, well, what if you're going out just cheating or, just beating me or whatever? Because they're always going to go to some extreme, almost impossible thing that's going to happen, right? Your response would be why would you pick me as your leader if you think so poorly that I'm going to just beat the hell out of you or just start cheating on you or, I'm just going to do all this crazy stuff that you're giving me in these examples? And why should I marry you or become boyfriend and girlfriend with you when you have such a low opinion of me? You obviously don't think that I'm up to the task of being the leader. And not only do you think I'm not up to the task to be a good leader, you actually think I'm going to be a whore. You're like saying that I might beat you or I might do this or that. That's crazy. Well, why would you think that I would do that? If you made me the leader, why would you think I did that? I would beat you or something or cheat on you all the time. Why do you have such a low? Why do you have such a low opinion of me? And why should I get with you when you do have such a low opinion of me? You know what I mean? And you think that I can't even handle being a leader in the family? Come on. So another thing I want to do is, they're always talking like women will talk crap about an old, a 30-year-old man getting with a 20-year-old woman, you know what I mean? Even though it's a biology. Women, like I said, opposites, right? Opposites but complement. Women want older, men want younger. They're opposite, but just like tall and short, they complement each other. Yeah, the woman wants tall, the man wants short, but see, they complement. They always say, well, what? Another thing is about education. They always act like they need an education. Harvard. First of all, if you have a Harvard education, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're an idiot. You're a moron. Okay, but secondly, they think that they need to be so intelligent, like the man. Because see, that's this. They're competing for the man against the man. You don't want a marriage where your woman is competing against you. You want a submissive woman who helps you, not competes against you. But anyways, I say, what am I going to talk about if I don't have the same education and the same hobbies? Remember, going back to we pick on love and compatibility. Compatibility about hobbies and interests, like that matters. That doesn't matter anyway at all. When you pick, when you're picking, you should never care about that. My whole thing is this: that's the most ludicrous thing. I've been with women that could be in what is it, Mesa or whatever, Mensa, where you gotta be a genius. That's 140 IQ. My IQ is only 130. Okay. These women are morons. First of all, anytime you talk to them about any kind of science or any kind of intellectual type thing, they just show that they're idiots. Like I had to constantly be, when Google came out, and I'm poor, I'm computer idiot, so I didn't have Google like everyone else did. Everyone had Google, and then a decade later, I had Google. Okay, so I started going to Google with my girlfriends. You know what I mean? Every time they'd say some crazy crap, I'd be like, "Well, let's just Google it." But then all I did, my whole life started to be, let's Google it. And it was always like, it wasn't even like some kind, I could see if it was something that I might not know or something like that, like I had but it'll be stuff that they know that I have that, like I'm a science person. I know about chemistry, I know about physics, and I know about science, electromechanics, fluidics, thermodynamics, all that kind of stuff. That's my thing. And it's never the girls' thing, but they always act like I'm going to be wrong. Like, you think I'm wrong? You're an idiot. You don't even know anything about the subject in the first place. This goes down to the Kruger-Dunning effect, which is, remember I said in my Pastafarian thing, Pastafarian rules, to become a Pastafarian, you have to know what the Kruger-Dunning effect is. You have to know what the Milgram effect is. And one other thing, I forget what it was, but those three things, you can't be a Pastafarian if you don't learn what they are, because it'll teach you a lot about not just women, but people in general. I have never talked intellectually about anyone, to anyone, except my nephew. He's it. And maybe my other brother. 2 people out of my entire life have I ever talked about anything really intellectual. Okay, so this thing what are you talking about? And when I'm with a, like she was, like this one woman was a nurse, right? She was going to be this top tier nurse, because there's different levels you can be a nurse. She's total moron, man. Total moron. I lost my train of thought or whatever. Oh, the whole thing was we never talked. What do you think? We sat around and talked about, nurse stuff? No, we didn't. Okay, I'm not interested in this nurse stuff. These women think like they're going to get with Bill Gates and they're just going to sit around talking about software. Right, you're going to talk about software. No. Or they're going to go marry Elon Musk, and they're going to be talking to Elon Musk, schooling him on how to run a business. You know what I mean? It's like, it's insane. Bill Gates does not come home and talk about his websites and his computer stuff to his wife. No one does. That doesn't happen. There's no intellectual conversations, man. And it's not just between women and men. There's no intellectual conversation between anyone. Men and men, nobody. Okay? Unless it's in their field. Like, 2 chemists at a chemist, they're at a job and they're both chemists. They're outside of work. Yeah, they might talk about chemistry. Yeah, of course. That's the only time you'll ever see intellectual talk, really. And what's funny is when a woman thinks like, and these are the same liberals or whatever, Democrats, they think like education is pretentious education. That's what a woman thinks education is a pretentious education. Like they'll know about this Picasso and all the different painters and, you know, any kind of useless information, you know, gender studies, they'll know all that, woman studies. They'll tell you, oh, they can talk all for hours about this BS stuff that isn't, you know, factual. Like art is just an opinion, whether you think that art is good or not. Me personally, Picasso sucks. He was pathetic. Everyone who thinks Picasso is good is pathetic also. Okay, but you talk to anything about like science or any kind of concrete type stuff, they don't consider that education. Okay, they only consider the BS stuff. Oh, I know about PC stuff. I know about gender studies. You know, I have a master's in basket weaving, so I know everything. When they know nothing, they just know trivia. They think trivia makes you educated and cultured. No, trivia doesn't make you nothing but stupid and pretentious. Okay. Anyways, let's see here. We've got two more things on this page. Oh, I already said that about Google. Never. This is another tip. Okay, this is tip number whatever, 10 or whatever. I don't know. But never argue or show emotion in front of your woman. A sub woman is still better because why isn't? Okay, and you might say, well, I don't want that. I want a woman who I can cry to, be a big baby and a little bitch, right? And don't get me wrong, I used to be a little bitch. I'm not saying I'm better. All my life, I did everything wrong when it came to women. So no, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm saying that you are a moron and I'm a moron. If you did what I did, you end up with just hate and anger at the end of your life. But anyways, you might say, well, I don't want that kind of woman. I want someone that will be my partner. I want someone who will be my friend. Well, what I'm saying to you is this, right? It's better to be with a woman who is sub, and you don't get the privilege of crying like a little bitch to her. You can always cry to a little bitch to your brother, mother, sister, dad, whatever, friend, but you just can't do it to her. It's better, to me, just to me, okay? It's better to give up that one thing and have a marriage with a submissive woman that will last a lifetime. Or I could take a marriage that, sure, I could pick a woman who isn't submissive, and I could cry to her and tell her all my problems and vent every time something wrong is going on. But then my marriage isn't going to last. So do you want a 5 or 3 year marriage where you can express your emotions? Or do you want a submissive wife that will do everything for you and love you and be grateful for everything? And you know what? All you have to do is not dump your problems on her, because that's not what a good leader does. A bad leader dumps their problems on people. A good leader just fixes them. So you can, because that's why your marriage won't last if you show your emotions, especially if you cry. And I'm not saying if your mom or dad or your kid or something dies, yes, of course you're going to cry. No one can put you down for that. Not even a woman in her biology. But if you're, or if you get, you run over a car, you're going to tear up, man. You know what I mean? Some kind of physical damage. But if you just outright, instead of just crying like, oh God, damn that hurt, oh God, other than those instances, you should never ever cry in front of your woman. If you do, you just break up. Let's say you do break down and cry. Just end the relationship right there. He just her biomechanism and her survival mechanism has just went into overdrive. She doesn't realize it. I seen one of these things with the dating thing type thing, right? Like the pop your balloon. Oh, okay, that's the end of this whatever. And just remember, Pastafarian God is the only true one God.